So seeking being the key of finding Him perfectly by Master, free will becomes the real experience here. Whether the reality is real or not, doesn't matter. As an experience, it is real.
Please watch on to find out about the reality of free will, finding our true self, and more from Ishwar Puri Ji, respected direct disciple of Hazur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh Ji. Greetings, loving viewers. I'm Sunu from captivating Mumbai. We, the caring people of India, send you our sincere wishes for your harmonious life in God's protection. Today, we continue with part 3 of the ultimate fortune of meeting a perfect living master. Interview with Ishwar Puri Ji. Ishwar Puri Ji is a devoted disciple and respected servant of the great master Hazur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh Ji of India. Ishwar Puri Ji practices Surat Shabd Yoga in the Sant Mat tradition, a spiritual method of meditation on the inner heavenly light and sound. Today, at the request of the great master, Ishwar Puri Ji is committed to helping sincere truth seekers, especially in the West, to discover their true great selves by being initiated into Surat Shabd Yoga. When we have to make important choices in our lives, sometimes we may wonder, do we really have free will or do we only think we exercise it? Ishwar Puri Ji kindly shares his wisdom.
That's a very interesting question. A lot of people ask about it. Is free will real or not? If it is real, then God doesn't have free will. One of my friends came up to this conclusion that free will cannot be real. If the definition of God or the definition of creative power is that He is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. Omniscient means He knows everything. Does He know what we are going to decide? If He knows, our free will is not real. If He knows in advance what we are going to decide, it's not real. If our definition of the ultimate truth is all knowledge pre-exists there, then free will cannot be real. But what is the value of unreal free will over here? The value is that we have no knowledge of our own true self. We have no knowledge of God. Sitting here, free will becomes a real experience. It's only an experience. It's an experience because we do not know the future. If we knew the future, we'll know we are all automatically acting in certain lines. But since we do not know the future, therefore free will become the real experience. The value is that if we did not have any free will, we could never become seekers. So seeking being the key of finding Him perfectly by Master, free will becomes the real experience here. Whether the reality is not real or not, doesn't matter. As an experience, it is real. And this is a very important point about what is real, what is not real. Because when we say things are real, are they real? There was a great dancer in India, a follower of Mahatma Gandhi, Mrinalini Sarabhai. And she invited me once to see a show performance in her school and also later asked me, why is this world called Maya or illusion? Is it illusion? Looks so real. So I told her, the experience of this world is real. Absolutely real. Ultimately real. But we think because the experience is real, the objects are also real. We think objects are creating the reality of our experience, not the experience is creating the reality. And I gave an example. I said, here we are having a cup of tea. I take the cup in my hand, real, I can touch it. I taste the tea, very real. The whole experience is real. Is the cup also real? Looks like that because of the experience. The truth is, the experience was real, the cup was not. And I gave an example. If we have a dream at night and have the same experience, that we have a cup of tea and the cup is real in the dream, the taste is real, the whole experience is real, we wake up. The experience is still real, we remember it. The cup was not, it disappears. This world is created the same way. And the illusion of this world is that we attribute the cause to something that is not. The cause is experience and not the objects that we think are the cause. And this knowledge, this realization makes you know that the world is merely being created from consciousness and not the other way around. But the free will as an experience is real. And that is why seeking becomes, in this world, with no knowledge of the future and no knowledge of our own true self, becomes real. And that is why free will for our purposes as a seeker is real.
In the tradition of Surat Shabd Yoga, as taught by the great master Baba Savan Singh Ji, why is it important to be careful about what we take into our bodies, such as food and other substances? Ishwar Puri Ji provides a very interesting and logical answer.
Well, the great master Baba Savan Singh recommended that we have a vegetarian diet and we abstain from alcohol, abstain from recreational drugs and things like that. He did not stop people from having medical drugs on the advice of medical practitioners and doctors, but he said that other drugs are not good for us. The reason why he said this is because these things affect our power to concentrate our attention. Take, for example, why should we be vegetarian? We should be vegetarian because if we kill life, extinguish life, we're all eating something or the other. Even vegetables have life. So that is why we extinguish life. But when we extinguish life at different orders of consciousness, then we find effect on our ability to concentrate attention is different. If you kill an animal, a cow or a horse, the power to concentrate your attention is still affected to some extent. As we go down the list, if an insect is killed, it's much less. If vegetable is taken, it's even less. Therefore, in order to have ability to concentrate our attention better, vegetarian diet is recommended. Alcohol expands our awareness, becomes more difficult to concentrate our attention. Therefore, that's also prohibited. So do drugs do. Alternate states of awareness create difficulty for concentrating our attention. Main idea is that if we want to have results in meditation, we should be able to concentrate our attention. And these directions about food and nutrition help us in concentrating our attention better.
A proper spiritual guidance by a perfect living master is precious and more than beneficial in our lives. We asked Ishwar Puri Ji to share his thoughts about finding these most gracious beings we call masters.
The masters are always there. Anytime. It doesn't mean there's only one master.
Yes.
There are several masters. Masters appear in response to seekers. Wherever there will be seekers, masters will appear. There are thousands of masters appearing for seekers seeking different things. But the number of masters appearing for those who are seeking the ultimate are few, because the number of seekers seeking the ultimate are few. But they are there. They appear automatically wherever there are seekers. So you seek and a master will come in your life. By coincidences, by circumstances.
Ishwar Puri Ji was blessed to meet his perfect living master, Baba Savan Singh Ji, at a very early age. The following is the beautiful story of their first meeting.
Actually, I met the great master shortly after birth. My mother had a dream one day, in the 5th month of pregnancy, that she saw a doll on a fireplace, on a mantelpiece. And the doll suddenly began to quiver and became a human being, a human baby. And she wondered who put the doll there and how the doll became a baby. So after the event, she went to Great Master, because my father and mother both were disciples of his, and asked him about the interpretation of the dream. He said, you're going to give birth to a soul that in the previous embodiment has been giving talks. Therefore, he began to give talk to you. Little baby began to give talk to you. And he will give talks in this life also. This was during her pregnancy. So my father decided that as soon as I'm born, which was due in November, end of November, he'll take me to see the Great Master on what you used to call Big Day, Day of Christmas. So he said, on Big Day, I must take the baby to see the Great Master. But my grandmother said, you cannot take a baby out of the house for 40 days after birth. It's an old tradition in Indian families. But my parents insisted. There was a little fight in the house. But my dad brought me to the Great Master when I was 29 days old. And the Great Master saw the little baby, and I'm told he touched my cheek and he said, do you recognize me? They're his first words.
Master Baba Savan Singh Ji's prediction about Ishwar Puri Ji's mission certainly came true, for he has given countless talks over the decades to spread the teachings of the truth in our modern world. When our interview continues, Ishwar Puri Ji continues his story about his own spiritual path, while also sharing insights about meditation and reincarnation. Righteous viewers, we thank you for being with us on today's Words of Wisdom.